Welcome to this special interview for On the Couch. With us today is sports producer of RTN, Antimo Forelli, and co-lead broadcaster of the Rowan Ice Hockey Team, Cody Decker. Gentlemen, welcome to On the Couch.
This is a pleasure. Thank you.
So, the regional tournament have come and gone for the Division II Ice Hockey Team. You had the pleasure of covering it, so why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was a tough tournament for the Rowan Profs, falling 5-1 against the Ohio University Bobcats. And really, Rowan got off to a great start with a lot of momentum. Sam Meyer has impressed very well as a freshman this season. So they got off to a great start, but they couldn't get the momentum back, it seemed like, in a nutshell there. So Ohio, a very good team. We didn't really see them much during the regular season, but just a team that can make a statement in the postseason, and Ohio was a great team.
I noticed during the game that they were playing like us. They were playing the way we played, but however, they were one step ahead of us. And when it came to the end of the game, when people were tired and they were falling, they got ahead of us, and there was no way we were catching up.
So for Rowan, no leading point scorer in Alex Polis for the MAC tournament, which happened the previous week, but he comes back for the regional tournament. However, he was still recovering from mono and really didn't play as much and didn't seem 100%. How do you think that affected the team on the ice and maybe even a little psychologically?
Yeah, absolutely. When you don't have your anchor for a tournament like as big as the MAC, as the league tournament is, you kind of don't know where to go from there, really, honestly. I mean, Polis not being on the ice for that week, for practice, for games, it changed the whole tempo of the team. The whole strategy had to change for that team in order to work out, and they just didn't really have the time to do that. So obviously Alex Polis, leading goal scorer, leading point scorer for the team this year, he's going to be missed as he's a graduating senior. We'll see how the team rebuilds going into next season, but as far as the regional tournament, you could tell that things weren't right and things weren't flowing the way they were earlier in the season.
So for the regional tournament, just get into a little bit of what it was like covering the tournament, the challenges you had and just the overall experience of covering something as big as a regional tournament, as RTN was the only school to really go down and cover their team, representing not only Rowan but the ACHA as a whole.
Well, this started last weekend with the MAC tournament. We, covering the whole thing, we were almost the ESPN of D2 college hockey. And we gained recognition all over the place. The people in charge of the ACHA knew about it, and they watched it all. The people who owned the rink that essentially held regionals, they watched it all, and they even told us over the phone they were thoroughly impressed. And when we went down there to cover Rowan playing in the regionals, they welcomed us in. They gave us anything we needed because they were extremely happy we were there. And it gave RTN a very, very good reputation, very good name, and I'm proud to have taken part in that.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that we're able to have live programming and having the coverage of the hockey team we have this year, it's been great. As we all know, being part of it, we travel with the team welcomes us, and the fans welcome us, which is really what we want as a television network in any sort of programming that we possibly provide. So really, it was just a great pleasure to have the opportunity to do those things, to get our names out there, and it's really helped our brand as RTN.
And again, the ACHA is the American Collegiate Hockey Association, for those of you who didn't know. But, again, you had the MAC, you had the regional tournament. There's a lot of memories that were made, we know that. Is there any one particular memory that you could take away and that you're going to hold on to?
Senior night was incredible, and I don't know if Antimo was going to say the same thing, but that whole broadcast was just incredible. Being on the play-by-play for that, I just felt like that was my best broadcast I have ever put in. I hope to have much more like that in my future. And the post-game show was just excellent. Lenny, you and I, we all worked very hard to make that happen. Our crew helped to make that happen, and to have that happen for the first time, it shows that we can do a lot more bigger things going forward.
That seemed like a good answer. I'll agree.
So, as far as you said how much this means for the Rowan Television Network, what strides do you think doing this sets up RTN even beyond when you guys are graduating? How big do you think the coverage that RTN did for the MAC and the regionals is for the sports department?
Go big or go home. The only way to go is up from here, and I have the feeling with the farther Rowan gets each year, we're going to go farther and farther. And I think if technology permits and if things fall into place, next year we're going to strive not just one camera, but maybe multiple cameras on these light shoots, on the road shoots. Add to it, make it bigger, make it better, because like I always like to say, we spoil the hockey parents. They love us so much, and when things go down, they let us know about it. So we have to strive to keep it going.
Now, announcing hockey, helping with, just sending out hockey, the productions always come out and they look great and people always have great things to say, but there's a lot more than what people see. So what are the challenges of covering the game, whether it's, all the wires you have to set up or all the notes as a broadcaster you have to do? What are the challenges to make everything look so great?
From the broadcasting side, I think a week of research is very important as broadcasters, and the ACHA website is not the best website to navigate, as you and I know. The Rowan Ice Hockey site is not always up to date, but we try to get the best information possible, whether that's going out to Twitter and going to a team's Twitter handle or profile rather, and researching there, reaching out to coaches, reaching out to the league, whatever we needed to do. As broadcasters, the research is very important. You want to know your stuff. You want to have the exact stuff, or else, if people who really know this stuff, very well, then you can kind of get backfire so much almost from it. So as a broadcaster, you want to research and know what you're talking about, or else you're not as confident as a voice during a broadcast. So, anything on the tech side?
From a technical side, it starts weeks in advance of each shoot. I'd be working it multiple times because we have multiple shoots each week, because every game is its own story. And we're always trying to communicate a message. Unlike movies and stuff, we have this capability of telling the story as it happens, as it unfolds. And my job is not only to let the broadcasters and the people talking know what kind of story we're trying to tell, but I also have to get the crew together. I have to reserve the equipment. I have to let the rink know we're gonna be there. Because if we show up and they're like, "Who are you?" That's not always fun. But there's a lot of work. I don't have enough time to talk about all of it, so it's a lot of work.
All right, Ansimo, Cody, thank you guys for coming on the couch and talking about the RTN coverage of the regional tournament.
Thanks, Tom.
And thank you for watching tonight, and come on back next week for another episode of On the Couch.